Now let's head over to Stephen Moore for basketball.
Thank you, Clay. Men's basketball is back on top after a victory against Stony Brook on Saturday. The Camels scored a season high in first half points with 52. Anthony Del Orso continued his strong season with another 20-plus point game. The Camels are back on the road for their next game against Monmouth on Thursday. Women's basketball could not continue its three-game winning streak after a loss to Charleston. The final score was 65-51. Campbell is now 12-10 overall with a conference record of 5-6. The Camels hope to bounce back this Friday after they host Monmouth. That's all from me, Stephen Moore. Back to you.
Thank you, Stephen. Now let's head to Stephen Moore for an update on basketball.
Thanks, Sarah. Women's basketball capped off its week at home with a comeback victory against William & Mary. Despite suffering a tough loss on Friday against Monmouth, the Camels bounced back on Sunday, defeating William & Mary 57-46. After a slow start, Svenja Newtenberg led the Camels back, tying her career high of 17 points. Campbell improves to a 13-11 overall and 6-7 in CAA play. Campbell continues their homestand Sunday afternoon against Hofstra at 2. However, men's basketball wasn't as fortunate this weekend, suffering defeats against Monmouth and Drexel on Thursday. Campbell's chance of winning was snatched after Monmouth hit a buzzer beater in the last seconds of the game. Despite the loss, Anthony Del Orso finished with a 31-point double-double on Saturday. The Camels traveled to face Drexel and suffered defeat once again. Campbell drops to 12-15 overall and 6-8 in CAA play. The Camels are back in action here at home on Thursday against Hofstra. That's all from me. Back to you, Lucy.
Thanks, Stephen.
Now let's head to Stephen Moore for This Week in the Creek.
Thanks, Sarah. This week is full of softball as it hosts a doubleheader against NC Central on Tuesday. The games are at 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. The games also mark Faculty Staff Appreciation Day. On the same day, tennis gets things started across the street when it hosts Coastal Carolina at 2:30. Action resumes on Friday for another softball series, this time against Monmouth. Friday's game is set for 5 p.m. Saturday holds a doubleheader with games at 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. This weekend is Strikeout Cancer Weekend, raising awareness of both ovarian and breast cancer. There will also be a post-game Easter egg hunt after the second game on Saturday. Remember, all Campbell students get free admission to events with a valid student ID. That's all from me. Now back to you.
Now let's head to Stephen Moore for an update on basketball.
Thanks, Sarah. Women's basketball is celebrating ending their regular season on a high note with a victory against Hampton. Christabel Izuma was dominant, scoring 16 points and grabbing a career-high 21 rebounds. In her last regular season game as a Camel, Shai set the program's single-season record for three-pointers. She nailed 76 three-pointers this season and 297 during her career at Campbell. Up next for the Camels is the CAA tournaments hosted in Washington, D.C. The action begins when 8th seed Campbell takes on 9th seed Elon on Thursday at noon. The season is over for men's basketball after a CAA tournament loss to Monmouth on Saturday. Anthony Del Orso and Jason Sinani posted 23 and 21 points respectively, but it wasn't enough as the Camels fell 90-67. However, Del Orso was named second team All-CAA after scoring 624 points this season. That's the sixth most from a single season in program history. That's all from me. Now back to you.
Thanks, Stephen. Now let's head over to Stephen Moore for This Week in the Creek.
Thank you, Clay. The school year may be coming to a close, but Campbell sports are still in full swing. There are many sporting events taking place this week that will give you a break from studying for exams. The week starts off on Tuesday with a highly anticipated baseball game against nationally ranked Duke at 6 p.m. On Wednesday, softball continues its season, hosting a doubleheader against Queens starting at 5. This weekend, both softball and baseball are hosting weekend series, and lacrosse will play its final game of the season at 12 p.m. on Saturday. You can find more information on the events and promos on the Go Camels website. Remember, students get it for free at all Camel athletic events as long as they have a valid student ID. So be sure to come out and cheer on the Camels. That's all from me. Back to you.
Thank you, Stephen.